East 16th Street, or just 16th Street, 116th Street through Perkins. So the major circulation in there, this thing is cycled several times, now is up producing a significant wall cloud, significant rotation. And let's see who we got there. Okay, go ahead, David.
All right, again, Gary, now we're just east of Perkins, 3 miles. And what is that? It's like there's condensation just barely coming out of the trees. Almost looks like a scud bomb, but it's not. I don't see the tornado, but I tell you what, it's not far from doing it, Gary. The rapid rotation I just put on the ground.
Hey, David.
Go ahead, Val.
The condensation you're seeing is not a tornado. You're right. It's not a tornado, but it is condensation actually coming up from the ground on the north side of the wall cloud.
Right.
The rotation is just to the southwest of that, just barely southwest.
You're going through where right now?
We are 3 miles east of Perkins on Highway 33. Gary, the rotation is directly south of us. Directly south.
I tell you what,
about
now,
a mile.
Val and David, you guys play this thing out, bounce back and forth. Don't run over each other. Just talk us all through this and the people in the path of it.
Go ahead, David.
Well, again, like Val said, it's just south of 33 now. We're east of Perkins, about 3.5 miles here. Just a big area here in rotation, looking for anything on the ground. Again, I don't see anything, but the circulation is very impressive. Wall clouds just a few hundred feet above the ground. And as we travel along 33, we're just looking for any debris at all. And the circulation just to my south here, and I do not see anything on the ground. But boy, Gary, this thing is really spinning, really spinning. I'm just a little bit ahead of Val. Val's right behind me. Val, you have a little more. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm looking at this. The inflow is incredible coming into this thing from the north. We've got clouds just streaming from north to south right into the wall cloud here. But there's nothing on the ground that we can see at the moment. It's still rotating strongly in the clouds, Gary. But right now, there's nothing on the ground. And as a matter of fact, the rotation is right over pretty much the river area where nobody really lives. So that's a good thing right there, Gary.
Okay, you and David keep talking through this thing, just changing off, talking us through it, okay?
Okay. All right. Well, I'm just a little farther east. I'm another mile east. I'm going to stop and turn around here and try to give you a pretty good shot of this thing here. Let me the circulation, like Val said, it's just south of 33. Not very far at all, but no tornado on the ground. We've had that one spin up just north of town, but wow, hang on a second. Let me look back here. Now look at the condensation right there. Look how low that is. Okay, Gary, might have another brief touchdown. Hang on a second here. Let me get a closer look.
The debris just pop up underneath it. Not real strong, but strong enough to kick debris up.
Right. Oh, Val, right here to your right. Look out your right window. Look how close it is to you. Right here. Look off 33. Look at the condensation coming off the ground right here.
Look up. Oh yeah.
It's right next to you. It should be right to your right.
Okay, I see it. There it is, right there on the ground. It's right down the road from us.
Yeah, it's right in front of you.
Stop. We're going to pull off the road here.
What's the relationship? Is it south of 33? What's the relationship to Ripley?
It's almost, well, Gary, it's to Ripley. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 miles, Gary, southwest of Ripley. 5 miles southwest of Ripley on 33. The circulation is now. The tornado is going to be just south of 33. Not very far at all. Not very far at all.
Right. If you're going to reference this to Ripley, Gary, it's going to be about 3 miles southwest of Ripley, less than half a mile south of 33, Gary.
Now down, getting ready to cross just west of Highway 18.
Sky News 6. Can we talk to Sky News 6? We've got a tornado on the ground. Sky News 6. See a big rig right there, and he's on that storm up near Ripley, moving toward Cushing. Is there any way you can get pilot of storm? Sky News 6. Well, that's the helicopter. The tornado's on the ground. Let me see. We'll put that up here on that map real quick. So you can see it's moving. The tornado's on the ground. And Sky News 6 is 1 mile south of Highway 33. And I'm not sure which direction he's pointing and looking. But if you can see that, maybe you can see a little better than I can. But we could see a tornado on the ground just mere moments ago. And that would have been right along the highway, it looks like, right along the Highway 33 that leads toward, who's this right here?
Cushing.
Leads right toward Cushing, so you guys in around Cushing continue the tornado precaution. There's a big cone, right? That's what was above. Look at that huge cone. This is moving toward Cushing.
There it is.
You guys in the Cushing area, just look out. Take your tornado precautions right now. That's the area where probably the largest oil tank farms in the world exist.
There it is. Gary, tornado on the ground.
Okay, we see the debris.
There it is, Gary. Tornado on the ground just to my south. It's 100 yards south of me. Tornado on the ground. I'm going to be just south. I'm going to be 2 miles east of Ripley. There's a tornado right here, guys. See that right here. There it is. Debris in the air.
Okay.
Debris in the air. Listen to it. Look at the motion.
Okay, now, hey, guys. Now, we can see it on Sky News 6, and you just need to tell us where you're looking and where you think it is, because we don't have a communication with Sky News 6 at the moment. Go ahead.
Okay, but Gary, I'm 2 miles east of Ripley, and this is the most violent tornado we've seen today out of this big cone. Big cone right above me. Big cone right above me. Look at the debris. Hang on, look at the debris in the air. Holy moly.
Gary.
All right, it's cutting through a forest. Going behind some homes. Big cone hanging down. I'm 2 miles. It's exactly 2 miles east of Ripley. Look at the debris behind the house. There goes the tornado. Right there.
Gary? Oh, Gary, can you hear me? This is Val.
Go ahead, go.
Okay, we got a power. I just saw a power flash, and the tornado is on the ground. I'm going to reference this to Cushing. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 miles west of Cushing, Gary. 5 miles west and 2 miles north of Highway 33. Now, the funnel does not go all the way to the ground, but there is damage being done on the ground right now. I just saw a power flash, and this is 2.5 miles east of Ripley, about 4 miles or so west of Cushing, and 2 miles north of Highway 33. So it looks like to me this thing, if it continues on to Cushing, it's going to pass the very north edge of Cushing. Anybody that lives north of Cushing right now, this thing is headed right at you. Gary?
Okay, go ahead, David.
Okay, Gary, again, we're going to be, like Val said, it's 2.5 miles east of Ripley, and it's still on the ground, Gary. It's been on the ground for about a minute and a half so far. It's moving basically due east on this road that goes east of Ripley here. It did some minor damage to a horse barn out here. We had a little bit of some sheet metal coming off of a horse barn. The cone is still hanging down, and again, it's just, Gary, I'll tell you what, it's moving almost due east now. And it's moving, it's moving pretty much due east. And let's see if it's still on the ground here. It looks like it might have. There's the cone. Oh no, there it is. There it is again, Gary. Okay, it's going to be 1, 2, 3 miles east of Ripley. Oh, look at that. There's a lot of debris in the air. A lot of debris in the air now. It just hit something that's obviously going to be something different than trees or forest. So tornado's still on the ground. The cone is basically going to be just 1, 2, again, 3 miles, almost 4 miles now, east of Ripley with a small debris cloud underneath it. There, it's still on the ground, Gary. I'm going to make a hard right. My road dead ends. I'm going to make a hard right and then get back south here. But, Gary, it looks like the tornado's still on the ground. It's a weak tornado, but nonetheless, tornado's still on the ground. Back to you.
Okay, Val, from your vantage point, is Cushing on the target?
Okay, Gary, it's about 3.5 east of Ripley now, probably about 3.5 to 4 miles west of Cushing. The funnel has lifted. It's not as pronounced. It's not a big cone like it was before. There is still probably a little bit of debris coming up off the ground at the moment, but it looks like to me it's weakened. It is headed, there is still debris. I still see debris with it. We are headed east, Gary. We're going to go into Cushing and go north and try to get and watch this thing for the people of Cushing here. But it's going to pass on the north side of Cushing. We're very near the north side of Cushing, Gary.
Okay, I will tell you there is some rotation west of you guys again in Perkins, so in Perkins, stay alert. And also just in the Coyle-Langston area and east, there's a bit of an interesting feature there. So all along the southern edge of that storm, it runs from Coyle and Langston. This is, by the way, northeast of Oklahoma City. It runs from Coyle and Langston over to Perkins, to Ripley, to Cushing. All through there, there's looks like several areas that might end up producing tornadoes. We're also watching the storm down to our south. So these guys are on the north storm. Now we're looking at the Blanchard storm. Moving, looks like it's going to move along 230th Street, 250th Street. This would be, it's hard to tell down there whether that is a Dibble Street or a Goldsby Street or a Perkins Street or whatever it is. But it's going to take in, continue with those tornado warnings south of Norman, go from just a hair south of Blanchard to Cole to Goldsby to Noble. These are all points south of Norman and south of Oklahoma City. And then from Dibble due east over toward Purcell. So you guys, you know, it's not moving very fast, about 20 miles per hour. And Sky News 9 is on it. We're also looking at Sky News 9, and we see a lowering. In fact, things calmed down a little bit, I think, maybe up at Perkins. Boy, look at that shot of Bobby's over on the right. I don't know where Bobby is, but...
he's on the Perkins storm.
Okay, he's on the Perkins storm. Let's check in Bob Mills, Sky News 9, and go ahead, Jim.
Roger that. Yeah, Gary, we're sitting just south of 39. We're sitting about 5 miles to the east of Dibble, and you're looking at that wall cloud now. There is a definitely rotation in it. It gets ragged, and then it builds back up. We get a little bit of a lowering, but right now it's just in that cycle stage, Gary. Nothing significant, but I can tell you out in front of this, there is a tremendous amount of lightning and heavy rain. When I landed at Chickasha for fuel, it was a literal flood around Chickasha. That's how much water is falling out of the front of this storm as it passes and going towards Norman there. But again, right now, nothing significant, nothing on the ground, Gary. It's just in that cycle stage, and there is rotation, but nothing significant right now. We'll keep you updated. Jim Gardner reporting live from Bob Mills, Sky News 9. Back to you, Gary.
Okay, that report is for this storm here. Has a tornado warning on it, moving east at 20. And once again, let's mention the towns, just a hair south of downtown Blanchard, all the way down to Dibble, then east along State Highway 39, Highway 74B, and 230th Street, and 250th Street, and State Highway 74B again there.
Right now, Gary, there's 2 tornado warning storms. We have the one that's up near the Ripley area. We also have the one that's down south. That's going to, when I say down south, I'm talking about the area just south of Norman, and that's going to be the area that's moving in over toward Washington and over toward the Purcell area. That is just an incredible shot right now from up in the Cushing area. I mean, it is just, now that one, I believe, is the south storm, if I am correct. So let's make sure when we label those, we're right, because I think we switched to the south storm when we went to Sky News 9. And we're watching the storm that's near Dibble, just east of Dibble. You guys in Dibble are going to be, it's just east of you, so that means the threat of a tornado has decreased for now in the Dibble area. Washington, you guys need to take your tornado precautions immediately and potentially over between Noble and Purcell. And if we could go to XL for just a moment. Okay, we're on XL. Thank you. Also looking down into the area north and east of Lawton. Listen, you guys that live over toward Rush Springs and Agawam along US 81, Highway 81, and just south and east of Fletcher, northwest of Sterling, there is a hook echo that has developed just north and west of Sterling. Suspect there's a wall cloud in here. Very, very large hail indicated. Extremely large hail just east of Fletcher as well. So that storm does not have a tornado warning yet, but I do see rotation on radar with it. So you guys over in Rush Springs and Agawam, be ready to take your tornado precautions at a moment's notice. So you obviously have 3 different storms right now that we're really watching closely. We have one that has the tornado warning up northeast. It is moving toward the Cushing area. It has produced multiple tornadoes along Highway 33 in between Perkins and the Cushing area.
Near Ripley. 33 again, west of Cushing. So you guys in Cushing may have to deal with it. And there's another lesser...
Okay.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead, Hank.
Gary, can you hear me?
Hey, we hear you guys. You don't need to ask us if we hear you.
East of Dibble, there's a large funnel that's 3/4 of the way to the ground. It started out as like a horizontal tube. Now it's turned upright. There's a large funnel. It's I'm trying to see if it's on the ground. It's probably a tornado on the ground, just northeast of Dibble. It's going to be, I'm probably 2 miles east of Dibble, looking back to the north, maybe a mile or 2. So just northeast of Dibble, I believe there's a tornado on the ground. I know that the funnel is at least 3/4 of the way to the ground. I'm obscured by trees right now. I'm turning on Meridian Avenue now, for you folks to know this area, off of Highway 39, and it's going to be right on Meridian Avenue, just north of Highway 39, so just northeast of Dibble at this time, Gary.
I see on Storm Action 6. Storm Action 6.
They're refreshing it.
Oh, they're refreshing it? Okay. They're refreshing it. Storm, and apparently have a funnel cloud. They have a strong circulation with it. The features, it's kind of small at the moment, which is good. And then I see Sky News 9 down. Let's check in with with Jim Gardner. Bob Mills, Sky News 9. Go ahead.
Well, Gary, right now we're sitting just south of 39. We're about 7 miles east of Dibble, just along looking back to the west. Now we're east of Dibble, so we're looking back to the west and the north. Now there is it's pretty ragged. We haven't seen anything on the ground yet, but it's possible we might have had a spin up there if we just didn't catch it. But you can see the very low cloud there, and like I said, it's all pretty ragged right now. We really haven't seen anything from our vantage point. But Hank is on the ground. He's right there close. Now, there may be something right underneath that, and that'd put it almost left center there. There is a little tag of something, but I can't tell if it's on the ground or not, Gary. Hank's got a better vantage point of that. But right now, this wall cloud looks pretty ragged, but it is rotating. There is a lot of rotation. Tremendous amount of rain falling in front of this thing and lightning. It's just incredible how much water is coming out of this thing. But again, like I said, I'm just over the 39 now, shooting back to the west, northwest. It looks like it's going to be just north of 39 where that one cloud is. But we haven't seen any evidence of anything on the ground yet, Gary. But like I said, we could have missed it just for a brief moment.
Okay. As we look at your shot, I'm looking at the radar there, and that will be Storm Shield radar. And let me just erase these towns on here very quickly for you. And we'll put some new ones on. We indicate a rotation. What in the world happened there? Okay. We may have an electronic problem here, boys. Got it.